Okay, now before we start with Tableau topics in full earnest, I want to talk about the file types used in Tableau. Okay, what are the different ways in which you can save files? And these are listed here. There is one change, this .tde that file type has been superseded by .hyper, I believe. We'll look at that. So .tde is old version, okay, not valid anymore. Okay, so we start with .twb. So that's the most common file type that's used. That file type has only the metadata about the work that you have done. It doesn't include any of the data from used in the, well, except link to the data file. So it doesn't include the data. So let me illustrate that. So I'm going to copy so for me to be able to delete the files, I'm going to copy it in a temporary. Okay, so I'll copy it down here. So okay. So now let's say that we connect to that file. I bring in orders into the join area, and you get a preview of the data. Okay. All right. So remember, what we are trying to understand here is the different ways in which we can save files in Tableau. Okay. So I'm going to minimize this like this, so we can take a look at the file size as we save. Okay, so I'm going to have a Windows Explorer right here. Okay, and documents. So here, including sites. All right. Okay. So now go to sheet, and then maybe customer segment. I'm just creating some random visualization. So and then I put profit in text. All right. So now we have a visualization. Okay. So now we want to save this file. Okay. All right. So it's just a very simple visualization. Okay. There's nothing fancy here, because what we are focusing on is the different types of files to save. Okay. So after having done your work, then you want to save. So go and file save. Okay. So the default is .twb, right? I'll give a name, and see, I want to change the file location to documents. Okay, and then save. So now I have the file here, and the file size is 35 KB. It's very, very small file. Okay. Now you can now send this file to other people if you want to, if you're working as a group or something. But when you do that, and if they don't have the underlying data, they will not be able to use it. So I'll illustrate that by, say, deleting this file. All right. So, well, before that, I need to close this. All right. Okay, so that file is no longer where it is. So now I'm receiving this TWB file from somebody. So I'm going and opening that file. So file. So there it is. And then now it doesn't have the data, so it gives me an error. Say could not find, but it lets you. It doesn't just give you an error and just leaves you suspended. It gives you an option. Okay, do you have that file somewhere else? In that case, just let me know, and I can figure it out. Okay, I can get the data from that new location. Okay. Otherwise, of course, you have to. If you say no, you'll still. Okay, so your data is not there, so it's going to give you this message here: worksheet unavailable, and do something. Okay, so you cannot. So because there is no data, so nothing is going to happen. All right. So if you have the data, so suppose here instead of the original location, and we did this last time, I think. So if the data is somewhere else, okay, I do have that data in this folder, so I can go and say, okay, here it is, use that file, and then everything is fine. Okay, so that is TWB file. Okay, so now a second version is, okay, now I'm going to use save as. Well, before that, yeah, that's right. Okay, save as. Now instead of TWB, if I use TWBX file type, okay, so then okay, so now I saved it in the same place. So now you see the difference in the file size. That's because the TWBX file has all the data in it. Okay. So if the person to whom that you're sending the work, okay, if that person has access to data, then you just use TWX. Otherwise, you use the bigger one. Okay. So and when I start assigning homework, I'll be the one who will be giving you the data. So what file type should you use to save? TWX, the smaller one. Okay, that's enough. You don't need to send me a huge big file back to me. Okay, when you submit your work. Okay, TWX is TWB. Sorry, TWB is okay. See, TWBX is the bigger one. So we don't want that. Okay, so these are the two the most commonly used file types. Well, I shouldn't say that. I take that back. Okay, let's look at some more file types.